So I'm going to be doing up this stool. I'm going to just give it a revamp, and yeah, so it's not looking great, as you can see. It's a terrible stool. So, but what I can say is, if you do have terrible furniture like this, please don't think it's the end of the world and throw them away. You can revamp them, and I thought this is a lovely stool. I'm looking for a footstool. I found this one in my home that I generally just use it for DIY standing on, and so I'm not really looking after it. But then I thought, actually, I could revamp this and make a nice footstool, and also a stool as well, and something that would look pretty as well in the home. So the top of it is looking like an MDF because I've just sanded this. So this could have a nice paintwork on it. I've still got my blue Dixie Belle paint, so I might think about using that on here, and then putting some kind of, maybe some transfer, we'll see. And then I'm just thinking about the legs now. It's kind of sturdy, and I'm going to sand it, and I just want to see what kind of wood is underneath. So I've got my mouse sander, and this one is from Black & Decker, and I'm just going to So as you can see, it's definitely a nice solid wood leg. So I'm just going to be sanding all of this paint off, and then I'm not going to paint the base. I think that's a good, nice, solid rustic wood. And I'm going to start tanning it, and yeah, and then just paint the top part, because obviously the top part's an MDF and it's not looking good. So I'm just going to repaint that, and then leave the wood being wood. So it's going to have a completely new revamp. So I'm going to take it apart. And the reason I'm going to do that is just going to be easier for me, because I can sand up to a point, but I can't get up here. So I'm going to take all this apart now. And it's easy because it's just Allen key. It's not even screws. They're all the same. So all this will come apart very quickly with just a couple of screws in there. And I can then do the job properly and sand it all down. So that's what I'm doing right now. So I'll get back to you when it's all apart. So this is the wood, all the paint removed. So I'm going to start painting this MDF. I have given it a little sand because it was very, had a rough surface. Best bit about Dixie Belle, you don't need to really prep for this. So I've got my chalk paint, a brush, and I'm just going to be painting this a lovely blueberry blue. So I'm thinking it would look nice, a nice blue top, and then a lovely wood base, rustic wood base for a little stool. So let's get painting. So with all that done now, I have put the stool back together. So I've completely stripped the paint off all of the sides, which I'm so happy about. And now, I mean, it looks great. I was just hoping for something a little bit darker wood. This is a walnut stain, and I'm going to be using this American walnut stain on it. As you can see, we are now having a thunderstorm.
And what I love about these days is that when you're at home and you're working on a project and it's so quiet that when the sound of the thunderstorm and rain comes, I don't know what it is, but I find it very soothing and very relaxing. So I'm going to have a little break now and a little time for reflection, just looking out at the window and looking at the rain and just appreciating this lovely moment that we have. And then I will return back to the stool and then hopefully finish off the wood stain and then down to waxing.
So, right, as you can see, I have now stained it using the wood dye and I'm loving it because this is exactly what I was looking for. I didn't want it like, I wanted it rustic, and I'm happy it's got these little shades because it kind of did all the rustic bit naturally for me, which was great. I could do another coat, but I'm not because I'm liking the rust, I'm liking the textures. So I'm keeping it all like this. It almost looks like a nice woodland stool now, a complete renovation to what it was before. I'm happy I'm taking it back to its wood tones. And I'm just waiting now for this to dry. And then I'm going to give it a wax, and I'll show you the wax that I'm using. And then, we'll put it all together.
And as the storm rages on, let's get on.
Okay, so now the storm's cleared, I'm going to be, and the paint is dry, so I'm going to put the lid back onto the stool. I'm just going to screw them in, and then we'll see how it looks. Okay, so there's the top of it done, and there is the nice rustic stool. I'm very happy with it. What I'm going to do, my next step is going to use the finishing wax, and I've just given it another layer, so that paint is still wet. I'm waiting for that to dry. I'm going to get some finishing wax and wax that off. I might lacquer the legs if I can find my lacquer. So I'm going to be going in with this. This is my finishing wax. You can get this from Amazon. I'll be leaving a link down below, and also for the wood dye as well. So this is going to be the finishing wax, and it just protects your furniture, so that's going to be great. I think maybe over time, only because this was an MDF top, when you only find out when you sand what you've got, I think over time, if I find a nice wood, then I will replace the top of it to give it a full natural wood, rustic wood stool. But for now, I think it still looks good. And I've made use of my Dixie Belle paint and also my finishing wax. And I'm just going to wax the top of it to protect the paintwork. And we're finished.
So I do hope that you enjoyed this video. I will leave down links for all of the items that I've used, and I hope they come in handy for some of your DIY projects or any furniture that you want to save in your home, because it is worth doing and I highly recommend it. And I hope to see you all again in another video. But before I leave you, do not forget to check the befores and afters and see the big transformation.